Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. Last night I published a video about the retest when we were at 93k and we ended up coming back inside the pattern once again. I want to talk about the potential for this to break out once again and also about the bearish scenario. I'll give you an update as well on the potential distribution that we are currently seeing, and of course we will analyze the recent price action based on the liquidity pools to see if we still have that upside floating around there. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I publish one of these videos. And I really want to know if you guys like the short updates. It's very funny because most of you in the comments are constantly asking for shorter updates, but as you can see, both the views and the likes are way less when the updates are short. For example, last night, the update where I was making sure that you are aware that we could fail the retest only got 184 likes. I will continue to try some shorter updates and see how it goes, but I'm afraid that the vast majority that remain silent like much more the deeper content. Please share your feelings in the comments down below, and let's hope that today we go back to the 300 likes. I remind you that in the description there is a link to Black Friday 2024, and it includes TradingView, Trading Different, Trading Parrot, and High Block Capital. All of them are charts that I constantly show in the videos, and some of them with up to 70% discounts. One thing that I haven't heard anybody saying at the moment is that we are about to complete 3 white soldiers, but this time on the monthly candle. And do you remember what happened after we had 3 white soldiers on the weekly time frame? Well, we were still somewhere around here inside the megaphone pattern, and we were calling out for a similar outcome as we were seeing at the bottom of the bear market. What happened after is that we have a retest somewhere in the golden pocket at 58k, and that provided the most impulsive move up that so far has done 60% to the upside. Impossible to tell if here, starting from December or in the middle of November, we could have some move down, maybe just a pullback and then a continuation very strongly into 100k. At least that's what the patterns are calling out for. The interest in Bitcoin after peaking and settling at 67, it came back down into 42. At some point before settling, it was at 75. On the 14th and 15th of November, we have a couple of outflow days on the ETFs, but you can see that with the inflows yesterday, that has already been resolved, and plus the 18, we're almost back to put a new high in total cumulative flow and getting very close to 30,000, which is really crazy. On the greed and fear index, we continue to oscillate between being almost at 90 and at the low 80s, and that is happening throughout this whole week. And I want you to keep a mind picture of what's going on in here on the fear and greed index, no longer in 90, in this case today at 83, because we're gonna see how the fear and greed index is having an impact on the price, or the price is having an impact on the fear and greed index, but they are both oscillating in a very annoying way. And a friendly reminder that we still have this golden cell in here. It settled on Monday and the indicator is at the top of the range. That is very similar behavior to what we have in October in 2023, where we stayed there for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. The golden cell was here and there was still upside. And as I've been saying, golden cells in the middle of the bull market can fail, although in 2020 there was still a 16% drawdown after the signal print, but we continue going higher. So I think that the takeaway of this golden cell is take it as a warning and expect along the way some pullbacks. There's only 10 ways left of the month, and hopefully during those 10 days we're gonna remain in here in this bullish cross in the middle of the range of the stochastic RSI monthly. That is pretty relevant because we have done this kind of moves halfway through in the previous cycles. The daily MACD is starting to reflect the loss of momentum that we are having in here, and these 2 liquidity grabs consecutive are starting to make this very suspicious. And I think we've been the whole week talking about a breakout to the upside to take the liquidity above us, and we are running out of time for more shorts to put more fire or more petrol into the fire to guarantee that we have a good incentive to go ahead and liquidate higher highs. But if that doesn't happen, you can see that the momentum is coming back down, getting close to get into the middle line. At the moment sitting at 700 on the MACD, and the MA is going towards a potential bearish cross, slightly higher than the one that we have at 73.5, which means that this doesn't look like a bearish divergence, because indeed we are putting a new high when it comes to the MACD, and that is considered bullish, even if we get a pullback right after. So let's go back to the scene of the crime yesterday. I put out a video because I was thinking that if we get a clear or clean retest, we can consider that we can afford to consume all the liquidity at the top. But if the retest starts becoming as dodgy as all the price action that we have had in here, which if you just look at the RSI, if you're familiar with following the RSI like me every day, this in here is just nonsense. I mean, after a breakout, you will expect, first of all, that momentum continues. Fair enough. If it doesn't continue, you can do a fake out and come back into the previous range and continue going lower below the trend line. We are not getting not even the second most likely scenario, but we continue to go into really weird unlikely scenarios, which is a retest, putting lows, coming back to the same level, then producing a W pattern, not breaking out, and we continue to go down into the ranking of likely events, getting into the really crazy, unique, one-off ever kind of RSI action in here. Yesterday we have a breakout, we confirm it, and we came back inside the horizontal channel in here, which makes it just another stage of more weirdness in this week. And something's starting to smell really fishy about this RSI action, and I'm trying to find and to read from the liquidity pools what could be the move that market maker wants to do. And for that we need to think the obvious things, starting with, like for example, this was just a liquidity hunt, and potentially they want to go for the scenario we covered in the morning in the video yesterday, which I say this could be just to take some of that liquidity and then head back down into the order blocks in here, or potentially into the CME gap. And I think that scenario is not ruled out now, because we did a liquidity hunt. We are attempting a new breakout, which could trap even further longs in here. So this is a very delicate situation because it's putting longs at risk. Now let's think the opposite. Let's imagine that this line in here is providing the final line in the sand for this pattern. So sure, that was a liquidity hunt. Longs got liquidated. Here we have one with $5 million at 10:30, which is more or less at the time right after I published the video. So if this guy watched my video, he will have now $5 million additional. I should be charging a fee for that. But anyways, this has an opportunity now to prove that this is the actual breakout to the upside. And that is the thesis for the bulls. But I see this potentially failing in multiple ways. For example, just coming back there, hitting the order block that pushed the price back into support, and this time coming below for the first time and closing somewhere in here below the support, destroying completely the pattern. That is one likely outcome. There is a huge risk in here of failing for the bulls, but there's a slim chance that they can still make it. So we have to keep an eye for a clean retest, possibly once again with this trend line, and then shoot back up. And to make things a little bit more complicated, I'm just gonna bring some past performance for your awareness. I don't want to confuse you with too many scenarios which are pretty much gonna cause you to freeze and not take any trade at the end of the day, which is I've seen patterns like this which are typically difficult to trade with Bitcoin. Breaking down, not achieving the full target, and having the breakout from this area and back above. I just want to leave that scenario there for you to consider, because it's just the third potential major scenario that can play out in here. And why am I making things so complicated now? Is because I'm well aware of all the manipulation that has been going so far in the 4-hour time frames for 34 bars. In here, there's been so many people liquidated. Someone was asking me, do you have any proof that there is manipulation? Yes, there are breakouts breakouts, and there is a long list of people with over 1 million liquidated that they were hoping that certain breakouts were going to be clean ones. They took intra-candle trades and they got liquidated. You might say that is not manipulation, that is just the market doing their things. Call it whatever you want. They thought that something was going to happen. They make them believe that, and they lost. And that has been extremely intense during this move in here. Not as much as if we take a long in here and then we just ride it to this top. We could miss even the full top, but this was a clean breakout, okay? And that is what I'm looking for my own personal trades. I won't trade this range in here. I'm gonna take a step back. Call me a chicken, call me whatever you want. I don't like the setup anymore. Sorry. The bottom of the range now is sitting at 37, and the full degen get lucky kind of target bullish is still at 87. So 87 and 37, let's update that in the reverse RSI, and it's already updated, is 86.8 for a move down into the bottom of the range. That is just the 4 hour, okay? So this could mean that the 4 hour can hit 86, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that must be the final bottom if it breaks down, okay? On the 4 hour, that's the projection. On the daily and weekly, it can have a longer span. 87 at the moment is located at 114K almost. So the 4 hour has a lot of room to go from the middle of the range to the top of the range in here based on statistics. If we start taking too long to do that, this statistic is going to start curved down and meet with the price somewhere lower. So also notice that every day, every hour, or every 4 hours, that target might change. On the daily, I was mentioning that we have a liquidity grab here going all the way into the first all-time high. Yesterday, we put a new all-time high, but it still qualifies as a liquidity hunt. This could carry on as long as we still have heaviness in liquidity pools at the top. That is the incentive to continue going higher because it's very close to the price. Below the price, there's full of fair value gaps, but as we've been seeing in all this rally so far, just like with any other rally, we are leaving behind pretty much all of them. There is a vacuum at the moment between 92.7 and 85. So if price decides, oh, I might as well hit a fair value gap today, all there is at the moment from 4 hour and higher time frames is 85K. That is also worth noting. Liquidity of the past 30 days, as you would expect with this move up, it took most of the shorts. There is just one level sitting at 94.3 at the moment. Significant? Yes, but just one level there, and now we have most of the levels below us as a result of putting an all-time high. The selling wall has thickened now to 152 million from 110, so 42 million more since yesterday, which is pretty significant, and it shows the appetite from whales to short that 100K level. And very impressive developments in here with the delta. As you can see, we are back above the zero line. So this was a trap for shorts. It couldn't achieve what it achieved in August, where they went below the line and they defined a new low, and we started a new channel like this. We could do the same. We could start a channel from now 21.9, but it was a very low target, very reduced in terms of success for the shorts to just get to 21, which is not lower than 38 that we achieve at 49K. But hey, we are in the middle of a very strong uptrend with higher highs and higher lows and all the beauty of a pump. So this came back into the green, meaning that the longs are stepping in and are crushing those shorts. Still not a very high risk for the longs, which will be somewhere in here, and there's room for them to continue adding more longs. And you can see that reflected also in the delta in high block capital, which is now sitting at 200K. At some point in the all-time high, it made it to 240. Now it's at 119. Very different from the 1.6 million that we saw a few days ago. CPR has managed to break and close a daily candle, large one, above the third resistance of November. So we can consider this November extremely bullish. All we have to do now is not come back into the pivots and not destroy the full progress that we have done. We can afford to come to the second resistance, maybe to 82 to 85. That will be a typical November intra-candle monthly drawdown within the month that's affordable and that still allows for a bullish December, January, and February. Of course, geopolitical fears, we hope that they just remain as fears, because that can easily turn a typical drawdown of November into a really ugly one, of course. And a very quick update on the NASDAQ. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about coming back in here from a very shallow red candle, and we say that we could be coming in here to this support. And I want to claim that this went well as a call, because you can see that we not just retest precisely at that level, but we started putting a green candle, and this green candle is now helping with the hand crypto potentially to hold that breakout for a little bit longer. It's adding to the bullishness, because if we broke this support at 20.3, breaking below, heading into the last line in the sand in here, that will make it a lot more scary. But in here, NASDAQ and both S&P now have a chance of continuing with the rally and put a new all-time high once again. Guys, if you want to trade with a top-notch exchange, I am currently using Bybit. I use it for my trading bots and manual trading, and currently we are offering 30,000 in rewards if you use the link in the description to open a new account. You also get the lowest fees to trade, and there's still 2 more days to take advantage of this promotion with Bluffing. This is another exchange that is very unique because it offers you to open accounts without needing KYC, no need for VPN. You can deposit just in 5 minutes, and immediately from anywhere in the world you live, you can get access to leverage to trade altcoins, Bitcoin, no questions asked. Indeed, you can open as many accounts as you want, deposit, and get one of these bonuses. I only have it for 100 users, and there's just the few last ones left, so take advantage of this promotion, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, take care.